I'm getting very shallow things in my head.
Just go for it. Just go for it.
I was gonna say his ass. I was just like, should I?
I love his legs. That's the first thing that made me fall in love with him. More than that, it was more like, oh, I want those legs.
Oh my god.
Then want changed to a different want.
So my reasoning of not coming out till now was that I have to build something for myself, because I've heard stories about, kids getting disowned by their families, not getting to stay. So my point of view was like, I need to be my own person. I need to earn for myself. That's when I'm gonna come out, so that if they disown me, I have my own thing to rely on.
I get it.
I'm not homeless, or I'm not on the street.
Do you think long distance relationships work?
His didn't work, so
If they really want it to work,
they will make it work.
They will make it work. So you're looking for a house
9
for 10
to 10
months
months.
in Bombay?
Yeah. Let's say we must be looking every month at least 7 to 8 houses.
What are you saying? Like in 10 months you couldn't find a house in Bombay? One question that everyone wants to know. How much did you spend? Hello beautiful people. So we are back again and this is Unsaid Feelings with Shanky. And आज के जो guests हैं, they are the most cutest couple I know is Atulan and Divesh. So we'll get to know a lot about them and their love story and how did they build their Homo sweet homo. So come join me. So hi Atulan, hi Divesh. How are you guys feeling?
We're good, excited, nervous, everything.
Okay, so before we go ahead and we talk about your love story, your backstory, okay, we want to know, all of us want to know, what are you individually? Like, what do you do, Atulan, individually? What do you do, Divesh, individually? And little bit about yourself and your life.
You go first. Yeah, this is gonna keep happening.
You go first. You're the young one.
Okay, I think you just do stone, paper, scissors.
Please lose.
Question.
Go for it.
So I am 22 years old.
Yeah.
I am born and brought up in Bombay itself. I am professionally also, along with content creation, I am also a sales executive for a manufacturing company.
Wow, so you're working there right now?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
currently.
great.
And other than that,
And what do you like usually? What are your hobbies? What is something that excites you the most?
so yeah, I love dancing. It's something that I was doing probably a year back. I was professionally dancing for 6 years, but now I don't dance at all.
Why?
But I don't know, I just haven't found the time, and yeah, maybe I'll get back to it in a few months.
He
Yeah,
will not get back to it.
I think you better do that.
I will just to prove him wrong.
Okay, Atulan, go ahead.
So I'm Atulan. I'm 27. I'm working as a fitness trainer with a brand, with a New York-based brand, which is here in Bombay right now. I also make content with him, and I was also a dancer. I was a professional dancer for 8 years, and then I quit.
What are you saying? Both of you are professional dancers.
Yeah.
You don't want to continue that?
The thing is, so the reality of it is that I actually quit during COVID, and that's when I realized that more than dancing, I was into traveling. Like, so I used to travel with dancing. So when that stopped during COVID, I was just like, okay, do I like dancing more? Do I like traveling more? So it turned out to be traveling. So I'm just like, I don't miss it as much as he does, honestly.
Oh my god. I think you should do it together and I think it is just going to blow up.
I mean,
I'm telling you,
No,
trust me.
we used to dance a lot. Like when we started this page, we were dancing way more than we were doing anything else.
yeah.
But I think somewhere down the line we started neglecting that side
That's
of our passions. But recently we did make this one Texas Hold'em Beyonce dance cover,
Oh.
and that was fun. Let's just say.
Yeah, now we just do it for fun. Like, should we dance? Like, okay, let's learn something. And it'll be very random nowadays. So
I think I'll
Yeah.
join you for one of those
Dance
videos. I dance too. Like
Really?
Yeah, I'm a contemporary dancer.
Oh,
Oh
nice.
wow!
Like not professionally, I've not learned it
okay.
professionally, but I do somewhere. So like I want to get back to that as well. I think 3 of us, we should just start dancing now.
We did meet while doing contemporary actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Let's ditch this podcast and dance right now.
Let's do it right here. Okay, so now, Atulan,
Yeah.
3 points.
Uh-huh.
The best 3 things you love about Divesh, and Ish, best 3 things that you love
I
about
thought
us.
you'll ask me worst 3 things.
Okay.
3 things you want to know.
3 things. Don't look at him.
That's a lot. Okay. 3 things that I love about Divesh. Can I say 3 things that I... Oh, no. Okay. Okay. I'll go with your question. 3 things I love about Divesh. One, he is full of energy, which mine is going down day by day. So I appreciate that there's someone who can like push me to do things that I would not do usually.
great.
He's very caring in the sense that like without even you saying that you need something, he would know. So I appreciate that because I'm not a good person when it comes to communication. Sometimes I just shut off and I'm just like, I need my space. I need my space.
Oh my God.
So he understands that. The third thing I love about him. Wow. I'm trying to give deep answers because I'm getting very shallow things in my head. I was gonna say his
I
ass.
think you should go for it. Just go for it. Just go for it.
I was gonna say his ass. I was just like, should I?
I think that makes sense. That has to be counted.
We'll need
Of
a
course.
montage of my ass.
I think we are going to add that part as a cover picture now. Okay, I think best 3 things, like, so good.
Mhm.
Okay, I think this is your turn.
Oh, yeah. So he's a very deep person, which I just feel like I was way more immature when I met him, and meeting him at the age of 22, I feel like I have a sense of a 27-year-old. Maybe not 27-year-old, yet he feels like somewhere or the other I'm lacking. But I think he's really wise, and somewhere down the line, he's passed that down to me, which I really, really appreciate. Um, I'm gonna get shallow right here. I love his legs. That's the first thing that made me fall in love with him. More than that, it was more like, oh, I want those legs.
Oh my God.
Then want changed to a different want. Yeah, that's second. I feel like he's super pretty. I think he has some really nice physical characteristics as well as emotional characteristics. And third is, I feel like he's been through so much after getting to know him down these 5 years, and I need that much willpower to be able to take all of that and yet have future plans for myself and not just
Right.
let go in the middle of it. So
That is so
That
beautiful.
was so sweet.
That is so
Aw.
beautiful. But still, we'll take the ass part on the cover picture. Okay, so how long have you been together?
We are gonna complete 5 years in May.
In May.
Yeah,
What is
coming
that
May.
date?
2nd May.
2nd May. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Both of you together. I wanted to check that.
No. There has been a time where we have forgotten our anniversary.
Yeah.
It was a very funny story. We were going to Turkey for a shoot
yeah.
with the company, and it was supposed to be this, like a very coupley kind of shoot kind of thingy. And it was on 4th May. We were taking our flight, and they just randomly asked us at the airport, like, oh, when's your anniversary, guys? Maybe we can put this as something. And we looked at each other and we were like,
No,
no,
we
no,
were
we didn't look at
confused.
each
We
other.
were like, oh yeah, when is it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 2nd May. And then they were like, oh, so what did you do for your anniversary? And we were like, oh shit, it's 4th May. We
Yeah.
didn't do
Oh,
anything. Both
Actually,
of
it
us.
was like a super stressful
Yeah, yeah.
time. That
Because
whole
of the
month.
shoot, everything.
Yeah, it was like the
Yeah.
biggest project. So we were super, super stressed. And in that stress, we forgot. So, but now we've made it a point that, there's nothing that comes in the way of us celebrating each other.
Yeah.
So we take a trip every time on our
Oh.
anniversary.
But what did you do after that when you got to know it? You guys forgot?
I mean,
Your-
we were in Turkey, so it was just like, okay, this makes up for it.
It's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Oh, that is so good. So, how this 5 years you've been together? How has the journey been? So, when I'm asking you this because being a couple in this society is very difficult
Uh-huh.
because I know, like, people get back to me only because I put these nail paints. So I have gone through these things. So I want to know from your end, how has these 5 years been for you? Obviously, emotionally,
Mhm.
good, bad, and what are the things that you've really faced? Like you had to face that.
Are you gonna answer?
Answer.
uh, so I would say when we started off, we honestly did not know like how much energy, effort, and commitment it would take to be in a relationship, because we were both pretty young, and I had just moved from Delhi, and we were both actually in a relationship, like long distance relationships, but in separate long distance relationships. And I need to mention that because people think we were in a long distance relationship with the same guy. Not the case. Separate guys. And like at that point, we did not know how much would go into it. As we started dating, and when family came into picture,
Right.
and then at that time he was out to his parents, but I was not. So that equation, and to get over everything, I think it honestly took us 4 years. Like I know we're gonna finish 5, but it honestly took 4 years. And then to now move in together and live together,
Yes.
that phase. So I think we've gone through a lot of phases,
Mm.
where we've honestly learned a lot, um, learned about others a lot, honestly, and how to deal with people and like make people understand what this
This
is.
is
So
exactly.
yeah, I think it has been a learning experience till now.
Yeah,
Won't you
that's
say?
a nice way to put it. Learning.
What has
I
been
was
the
trying to be nice.
and what has been the most difficult? Because I'm sure in this 5 years there might be one moment where you felt, oh, what the fuck? Like, what is this? Like, why are people coming to us and judging us in this way and whatever? So, what was that one major moment that happened with you
Honestly, there was no point in our lives that I feel like society has ever come in the middle of us.
guys? Right.
So we're privileged in that sense
Wow.
that we had the support system around us. So we surrounded ourselves with only those people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people don't realize, that's all you need to do. Like, even if you have that one person, just like keep them like really close to you and you will survive that period. But yeah, there was no point where we let society, that was like the least of our
Concern.
botherings. It was, we started as artists, and the number one rule as an artist is to express however you want to. And till date we have that artist inside us, and I feel like that helped us guide through life.
Wow. And I think this is so important for people to understand that people usually think what you just mentioned, that people usually think, okay, the society will start judging us and they will say these things, these things. But I think what you mentioned is so good and so sweet that just surround yourself with the right people and just you'll just feel
Yeah.
safe around them.
I think we've been lucky to start our careers off as dancers, honestly, because that's where we met the right kind of people um, who are open minded, in the sense of, because in art, you just express yourself, doesn't matter who you are, right? So that kind of an environment gave us the opportunity to be ourselves, and be ourselves fully, and
Fully.
express ourselves and learn about ourselves before we went out into the world. So I feel like when we stepped out of that space, even if someone said something to us, we were well equipped to deal with it. But I think, like, and I do get where what you said, like, where people come and say that, oh, this has happened to me, society, like, problem about the society and
Right.
stuff like that.
Exactly.
um we are just grateful that we were equipped and like ready to deal with it in
Wow.
our in a sane way, rather than
Yeah.
going ballistic, I think.
Wow. And what about your family? So I think in the start you mentioned he came out, you did not come out to your
Yeah,
family in the start.
it's
So
a very funny
how
story.
was that?
Should I
Why
go?
don't we tell each other's story for once?
Oh yeah, let's
It's
do
like
that.
we've said
Yes.
each other's
Yeah,
our
please.
own story like
Yeah,
forever.
Yeah,
please.
I mean, like, we've spoken about this a lot, so yeah, let's do that. That could be fun.
You say.
Okay, I'll go first. So correct me if I'm wrong in any of the sequence. Okay. He was dating someone who was not okay for him. Bit of a playboy. Not him, the guy.
See, I like hearing it from his side. It was my tactic.
my version of it. Okay, so he was dating someone who was not good for him, and he got dumped,
Hmm.
and then he was crying in his. He was 16,
Okay.
right? He was 16, got dumped. He was crying in his living room one night, quite loudly. His parents heard, and they came running, and they were like, "Oh, what is
What?
wrong?" and like stuff like that. And he was like, at that point, he was like, "Okay, I need someone to listen to me," and it just came out. Not that like he purposefully wanted to do it, but I'm right, right?
Yeah.
Purposefully wanted to do it, but like it just came out. He was like, "Oh, I need to tell you something," and he
Oh.
said all of that. But then he added a line in the end, which goes like, "Oh, it might be just a phase.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure." Like he said that.
Okay.
So they took it like, okay, it might be a phase. Okay, nothing is wrong. He's fine. He'll date girls in a while. But that never turned out to be true. And like for the longest time, for his parents to not get him was because, oh, you only said it's a phase. So we're just waiting for this phase to be over, kind of situation.
Okay.
But then when he started dating me, and then things got serious, and then we're like moving
Moving in
and
together.
they were like, okay, it's not a phase. Okay, it's not.
But
a
I
phase.
think that just happened. I think that was supposed to happen that way, where you didn't have to tell them directly. And
Maybe, but let's just say like, like a plan coming out, or when I'm ready myself and I know it strongly, would be something that I would have loved. But I
Right.
felt like this happened in the moment of, it was an effect of something bad that happened. So I would have
Right.
loved it to be my way, but it wasn't.
But I think that was still good, right? I think.
Yeah.
And how did
Any
your
coming out is good only. at the end.
I like that.
Any coming out is good. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that was your story of you coming out, and Atulan's story now. Go ahead.
So Atulan has been telling me since years that you tell your parents and I'll tell my parents, right?
True.
And since a few years after me telling my parents, he's not told them. And then there were a lot of talks between each other where when we were starting our YouTube page and stuff like that, and our content was reaching the masses, we were like, he said out of nowhere, he said, I hope I don't have to ever tell them. I hope one of our videos reach them. And
Okay.
of course, at the back of his mind, he didn't want that to happen, but he was just like, that's the easiest way. Now somehow our first YouTube video was a story about how we met.
Yes.
And that reached like way too many people compared to what we were expecting. And somehow there's this one night where Atulan's mom saw the video,
Okay.
and she messaged Atulan saying, with the video link saying, "What is this?" Right?
Yeah.
Was there anything else in that message?
Nothing. The
When-
link and what is this?
When was this,
Yeah.
by the way? Which year?
Oh,
Last to
3
last
years
year.
back?
No,
2
to
years
last.
back?
Yeah.
2 years.
Oh, it was
back.
that recent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay, then.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
correct.
dead.
My 25th
Um,
birthday. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, then I feel like after having a few conversations with them, Atulan tried to explain them that this is just who he is.
Jeez.
But I think in the start, because they were also getting a lot of pressure from the society.
Okay,
from
because
their
everyone has watched the
relatives,
video,
Because
maybe-
everybody's watched the video.
Okay.
And I feel like I missed out on one detail, was that before this video, there was a rumor that came around in his faraway family that, what is this? Is he like that? And that time he told them that no, aisa kuch nahi hai. They're saying anything.
Okay.
But then this video came out, so he was like, now I'll have to say everything because I've said how we met,
Right.
what we did, everything.
Yeah.
Then what?
So basically, like when that happened, I called them the next day. We started talking about it, but they did not want to talk about it that much. Happened during COVID, so I wasn't home, and my younger brother
Oh yeah,
was
now
home.
I'll continue.
Oh,
I just need a little reminder. Yeah, so then Atulan's younger brother was home, and he probably came out for Atulan.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
So for a few days, I feel like 2 to 3 days, not that much. They cut off with Atulan for 2 to 3 days. They didn't have much to say, I feel like.
Right.
So they were
No, they had a lot to say. They didn't
Yeah.
understand it fully at
Yeah.
that point. They were getting a lot of calls from people who have not talked to them for like
years.
ages.
You mean to say the family?
Yeah, a lot of people from the family calling them and talking to them, and even though they like had no connection with them for such a long time. They found out that, and they're like, all of these people are calling us and this and that. What is going on? And then I explained it to them, like, okay, listen, Divesh is my partner. We're together,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, I explained the entire thing. And they cut me off for a month. Like, we didn't talk for a month, very on and off messages and stuff like
Right.
that. And then after that, they got back to me within a month, and they're like, okay, we're okay with this. I'm like, how can you be
Yeah,
just
I was really
Like all
surprised
of a
when that
sudden?
happened.
yeah, all of a sudden they're like, we're okay with this. And I'm just like, how? Like, what happened in this 1 month? You didn't even talk to me, and what happened? But like, um, later on, I found out that since they were getting so much hate about me, they were like, I know my kid. Like, I have,
Yeah.
he has grown up with us. Like, there is no way in the world that whatever you're saying is true. They refuse to believe that, honestly. They were like, we are
Okay.
not going to accept whatever you're saying. You go do your shit. This is our kid. We are sticking by him.
Right.
Which was, I was shocked, honestly. I had fully, so my reasoning of not coming out till now was that I have to build something for myself, because I've heard stories about, kids getting disowned by their families,
I know.
not getting to stay. So my point of view was like, I need to be my own person. I need to earn for myself. That's when I'm gonna come out, so that if they disown me, I have my own thing to rely
I
on.
get it.
I'm not homeless, or I'm not on the streets. So that happened. They did have a little problem with our YouTube, honestly. They used to be like, okay, we're okay with this, but delete YouTube.
Okay.
Please delete YouTube. But then I explained it to them this way. I was like, if you and dad met and you love each other, right? Like, yeah. So, so I was like, if you opened a YouTube channel, would I ask you to delete it? No, like, oh, okay.
No.
Let's think about this and get back to you.
I think that was very smart
Yeah.
of you to do
Of course.
that.
I'm very smart that way. I put across.
Actually, Atulan had this thought that when his parents was just getting okay with it, he said maybe we should just lay low for a while. But then when his parents सामने से said, correct me if I'm wrong, when your parents सामने से said कि can you take it down, then you realize that it was not the identity that was the problem to them. It was just society, because the
Society.
society was coming back to them saying these.
Yeah.
So that's when Atalan's eyes open, and you're like, no, now I'm gonna be like,
I was like, if
no.
you're gonna accept it, then accept everything around it. You
Yeah.
cannot be selective and choosy. Oh, I like that about you. I
Absolutely.
accept that. I
Yeah.
don't like.
Absolutely.
So I was like, either you fully accept it or not. So they were like, okay, let's think about it. But it took them like very less time compared to his parents to accept us, honestly.
Very less
Yeah.
time.
Very less time.
Yeah.
Like 3 months, they were
Yeah.
like
I
calling me
was
every day.
surprised.
I was shocked, honestly. I have prepared my entire life to be disowned, and then this happened.
You
I
mean
was like,
end to end within 3 months?
Yeah.
From the
yeah,
time
within 3 months they
Lesser
were
than 3 months.
No, 3 months, and then they were just talking, like they were talking normally. They were calling me and everything, and then the next year my mom came to visit me, and then she stayed with me. We were not living together back then, so she stayed with me. She was okay. We hung out. She met him. She had met him long before that.
in Bombay itself?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my dad had come, mom, dad together. They had like spent time with us. And this Jan, they came to our house and stayed with us.
Yeah.
And which was amazing. I was
Yeah.
like, wow,
Yeah.
this took a whole different turn. We're lucky. I was lucky that way.
But now
honestly.
how do you feel? Because at that point when you knew, as you mentioned, like as you knew that my parents might just disown me, I
Yeah.
would have to do something else now.
Yeah.
So now when you are here and you've gone through all of it and you are in such a good place now, how do you feel now?
There is a sense of relief, honestly, because the past 4 years was a lot of struggle, honestly. Like from making his parents understand this, um, being together, and then dealing with our own individual problems, because again, we're growing up, and at that age, at that time, we did not understand a lot of things about ourselves. Then our dynamic in a relationship to get through sorry to get through that, um it took a lot of effort, it took a lot of energy, and I just honestly at this point feel relief that even if we're not there, we'll never be there where we are like look at each other and understand everything. I don't know how people do that and say that but like we will never be there, but like there is a sense of understanding, there's a sense of okay, I know who you are, I know what you need, and I think that's the best thing that could ever happen at this point of time in our life. So very grateful
Yeah.
for that.
But
And
how did you guys meet?
Oh, dancing.
Yeah, dancing. But how did you? I mean, to start the relationship.
Oh,
Okay.
like
Who?
that.
Yeah. How did you? Who went ahead first? And
who made the move?
yeah, who made the first move?
Divesh.
Yeah, it was me.
Okay. How was? What
So,
was?
like you said, we were in separate long distance relationships and we were dancing in the same company. And when we're full time dancers, we're in the same studio, this like one big studio, 9 to 9.
Okay.
You're having your lunch at the same place. You probably
Wow.
skip your breakfast and you have your dinner also sometimes in the same place. So we start the day in the same place and we end the day in the same place. But I think down the line when we were both gay and at the back of our minds we knew it, um, we never really tried to make this move. For 6 to 8 months we were just acquaintances,
Okay.
and Atalan kind of hated me. He was just
You
like,
He
did?
he's
was
too
very young. He
immature.
was very mature in the sense like he was like all the time, and I'm like I can't deal with this energy, dude. Like how where is all this energy coming from? Because I used to. So he joined a year later than me in the company, and by the time I was exhausted working like 9 to 9 dancing. It was
It is for sure
exhausting. It's
exhausting.
a different kind of life. You know, like dancing and dancing professionally are two very different things. So it's like I was exhausted by the time I did not have energy to meet anybody. Like, just let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
So when he came in the company, I just like, oh, he's too loud. I can't deal with this. Like, I don't have the energy. But then we started talking on Instagram. Like, he started replying to my
Yeah.
stories.
Oh, you were following each other on Instagram, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, we just kind of followed each other, and he kind of
I used to just reply to few stories with
stories
no
like
intention
very random.
whatsoever.
Divesh,
Maybe. Maybe now that I think about it, I had intention, but not then.
and then how
But
did you
then,
make the
like,
first move? I want to know about that.
it's a very funny story. We call it the first move,
You call it the
but
first move.
it wasn't like an official move. But it was where like we would go out for lunch, and on the way back, I think it was basically I used to go and have sugarcane juice during lunch.
I used to have.
You used to have, and one day I realized that even he likes it, so I got a like in a theli, I got a sugarcane juice
Wow.
for him. And I just walked like that, and he was outside the studio. I just gave it to him and I walked in, like with no intention. Oh, I got you this or anything like that. Just give it to him and walked. I just here. So he saw that, and the next day he came and gave me a sugarcane juice too.
Okay.
So it was like, oh, we're doing things for each other now. But of course, then after that, a lot of um out of motive of getting to know
Getting
each
to know
other,
each
we
other.
DM'd each other. That's where everything starts.
I
Um,
do remember though, like the day he mentioned it, like in words, like we should date each other, was we were supposed to go on a tour, to I think
China.
not China. Before that, there was some tour to some other country. We were supposed to go, and the tour got cancelled. And then I remember that night after going back home, he messaged me saying like, "Hey, I wanted to wait till the tour was over, like, or we were on the tour, or the tour was over to say this to you. But I think I like you, and I think we should date." Something on those
Yeah,
lines. He
yeah.
But
messaged.
I think I'm sure. But while talking, while chatting, you might have that feeling. Okay, maybe
Of
he has a
course.
side corner for me.
Yeah, of course we did. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it was always at
There
the
were a
back of
lot
our
of, in
minds.
fact, like I have these chat screenshots till date.
Oh, do you do?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
They're
my
like the
god.
first few pictures in my gallery, in fact. And they were all about like, oh, please take care if you're going here, because we used to usually have this at night when we've gone back home.
Yeah.
And I
So
used
if
to
he's
test his
visiting
limits.
someone, I would be like, oh, please stay safe or don't go today.
Yeah, like I
Make
used to
sure
go
you
on
had
dates
your
with other people
dinner.
because we were not exclusive, right?
Yeah.
So go on date meaning like one day in a week where I have to have energy. I used to be like, oh okay, and I used to make a point that he knows that I'm going because I wanted him. I'm not good with my feelings like coming out like very strongly. I'm not like a, if I like you, I would not be like, hey, I like you. I'm very much
You'll
not
just keep it
that.
with yourself. You just want the other
I will
person to
just
come walk
I will
up to
just
you.
show it through my actions that hey, okay, I like you, but like I never say it out loud. I prefer the other person saying it if they like me. So I was just trying to push him to his limits, like, okay, he's gonna say today, he's gonna say now. But yeah, that like I used to tease him, like, I'm going on a date. He's like, please don't go.
Yeah.
It's
You used to
really
feel
fun.
Yeah,
jealous.
I would
Of
just be
course.
like, Honestly, I wasn't jealous. It was more about,
Please.
I was not jealous of the fact that he had a date. I was more jealous of the
He's
fact
not going
that
out with you.
he's not valued enough wherever he was going. So
Okay,
I felt
that
like
way.
Oh,
I
Okay.
wanted
I
to,
never thought of it that way, honestly.
yeah.
And then officially, then I think you went ahead and
Yeah,
told him.
I DM'd him saying maybe we should like talk things through, if not come to a conclusion, maybe. So then we went to Warsaw Beach
Yeah,
near the
because
cafe.
we went to the cafe because again we were like, listen, we don't want to just ditch the people we were
Yeah,
dating at that time,
yeah.
even though it was long distance. I still I was with my ex boyfriend for 5 years
Oh, wow.
before I broke up, and then I was with him, right? So and I did not, and I was very much in love with my ex boyfriend.
Right.
The only reason I didn't think it would work because I was in a long distance relationship for 4 years in our 5 years
Oh,
relationship with
where
my
was he?
ex. He was in US for his studies and all.
Got it.
So I was just like, this is not working. I don't know how people do this. Like, it was very complicated, and we would meet once a year. And I come from a background where my mom dad was in a long distance relationship for the entirety of the marriage because of my brother and I, because they wanted us to have our schooling in Delhi, because in Calcutta we used to live in like a huge ass joint family of
Okay.
24 people. They were like, these two are not getting any education if they're staying in this family.
Oh
So
my God.
we had to move. And also it was a good move because thank God I'm here now. So I come from a background where my parents have see each other once a year, twice a year, thrice a year. I was just like, I've seen them struggle. If I am in this, it's just not making sense to me. So we met at Warsaw. We discussed. We were like, listen, before we start anything off, we need to tell them,
Tell them.
break it off, and then if you want to see each other, we'll see where this goes. I think that's what we decided,
Yeah.
and
That's the first thing we decided actually.
Yeah.
And then I just feel like it was very easily flowing that moment.
yeah, at that time it was. After that, it just flowed. We were just
Yeah.
happy to just be together, and yeah, things were fun.
Wow.
Things were more light-hearted back then. Now that I think about
Yeah.
it,
We were not serious about careers. We didn't have to build something together.
yeah,
We didn't have to house hunt. All of these adult problems. Oh my god. We would just come into the studio at 9, doing a lousy ballet class, going into a choreography class, and that was like the least of
The
our
least.
worries.
yeah.
So when you came together, after that, how was it in the start? Like you told them your
Yeah,
ex-boyfriends.
so I honestly remember having a chat with oh my God, are we doing this? uh, I remember calling him up, and I remember saying, hey, I did tell him about Divesh because at that time I was in an open relationship with him.
Okay.
So I used to tell him about the dates I used to have. And I was like, I had told him about Divesh before, and then I called him that night. I was just like, listen, I think it's more than just a date.
Yesterday.
We are not dating yet. We are not even seeing each other yet. We just hang out in the studio or whatever. But I think I would like to explore this in the point of view of a relationship. It might stick, it might not stick, but I don't see you and me going anywhere because I do want to explore this. And of course, it came as a big shock to him because he had no idea that I was looking at anybody
Right.
in the point of view of a relationship. But to be very honest with you, with him, it was chance, I feel like almost like I was not expecting or looking for somebody to be with. But then when I understood and got that kind of attention and care for somebody who is just like around me, that made me realize that in my relationship that I am in the long distance relationship, it just didn't make sense because even though he loved me, I loved him. There was a lot of care, there was a lot of love, which there still is. Honestly, we are very good friends, by
Right.
the way. Um, it would have never made sense because he was never gonna come back. I was never gonna travel,
Yeah.
and distance people, I know my parents have done it, but I do feel that distance plays a big factor in relationships for sure. Like it is a big factor. Like
Divesh, according to you, do you think long distance relationships work?
his didn't work, so sorry.
I'd like to say yes, but I just think if his parents could do it,
I think it depends on the people.
On the
Anand.
people.
It's totally depends. Like
True.
I believe, like if
It depends on both the people.
yeah, like I believe if we were in a long distance relationship, I think we could make it work.
I don't think so.
Have you ever thought about that?
We have been long distancing.
I mean, I can
In
do it
fact,
for
like,
5 years.
when we
I've
made
done
it
it
official-
before. I have experience. After 5 years, maybe I go like, okay, bye.
So how long was the China tour that you went on?
2 months. Oh, we've done it for 2
Yeah.
months.
2 months.
2 months is also enough for me.
It was enough.
Basically, there was a dance tour to China, and both of us were supposed to go. But at that time, he was pretty immature. He had like a fight with some senior manager or someone in the company or something,
Yeah.
and created a tantrum. And they were like, okay, he might be a liability on the tour. We are not taking him.
Taking it.
And then I was like, what the hell? I'm supposed to be there for like 2 months without you. And like, that was a big issue. And this was like really on the starting of our relationship where
Okay.
We didn't have a solid foundation.
solid
and-
foundation in the sense like we were getting to know each other. We loved each other's
Yeah.
company. We were together 9 to 9. And like, after that also we're hanging out. Like we were so used to
Yeah.
each other. And I was like, it's going to be a huge shock if like,
If
you're
he's
not,
not
with
there.
me. That period I was just like, oh, I am not doing this. Let's break up. And then like, no, but we did it for 2 months. It was very hard, honestly.
But I think when you're in a long distance relationship, two people, if they really want it to work,
They will make it work.
they will make it work.
Because of course, like again, coming back to my ex-boyfriend, we made it work for 5 years, regardless anything. But again, this happened out of nowhere.
It's just
so
the hope of knowing that someday you will be able to be
correct.
together.
Correct.
And
Like you need to have like a deadline for it.
I get it. I get it.
Have you been in?
I have been in I was in a 5-year relationship again.
Oh,
So
okay.
out
Long
of which,
distance.
5 year, out of which 3 years was
long.
a long distance relationship, 2 years together.
Okay.
But what you said, exactly the same. Okay, it was difficult, but the fact that she was working in Bombay, so I used to just travel to Bombay sometime.
Right.
that's why you like Bombay.
Divesh got it. Yeah, so that was, I think 3 years, but that is what I was saying. Like, if people really need to work it out, it works out. I think
Agreed.
for me, when we broke up, it was not the long distance that was the problem.
Mhm.
It was other things, but I think long distance was just working fine for us.
Understood.
So yeah, I think
Depends on the people. Let's
Depend
just
on
say, if you want to make it work, you make
Yeah.
it work.
yes. Yes. So how many relationships have you been individually?
Do you mean like
the
What do you
past,
count as relationships?
relationships?
Okay, I think that is a good question. Okay.
Yeah, because there is a lot of terminology these days. Situationships, relationships.
Okay,
this, that.
let us
So
count
what do
that.
you
Okay, let
mean?
us count that. Situationships are relationships.
Are you
Mm.
asking?
I'm
Telling?
asking.
Do you want to count? I've never been. Actually,
Okay, just give your opinions. Situationships are relationships, yes or no?
no.
I don't know what a situationship.
It
Sorry.
means like you're together, we're not dating, but it's just like we're just hooking up. But
we're
it's
seeing each other.
no, yeah, but we're not dating. We don't call it a relationship. Neither do we call it a hookup.
It's not a hookup. You are friends, but you are also hooking
Hooking
up.
up,
But you
but
are also
I
not
call it
in a
a rela-
relationship.
Yeah, you're
I
not
call
dating.
it a relationship.
You call it a relationship?
Yeah.
I would not.
Okay, then I would have been in a lot of that.
Exactly. I would not.
Depends the duration, right?
It's not the duration. It
It's
could be just 10 days also.
Yeah.
Maybe yes.
Okay, you count it as okay,
Yeah.
fine.
No.
Hookups are relationships.
No.
No.
What are the other things?
Um,
No, there's a lot more.
see, if you want to narrow down the numbers, you will have to
There's
like.
a lot that's come out of these 5 years. And we are not in touch with any of these terminologies.
For me, a relationship would be like, okay, you have exclusively spoken about that we want to be with each other. Other than after that, you wanted to be open, you wanted to have someone else included in it or whatever else.
But-
Maybe when
fancy
you
things want.
understood each other enough to be
Yeah.
able to take decisions
Take
about
decisions.
for each other.
Yeah, I would call that a relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take that as an answer
Okay.
now. So how many relationships have you been in?
3.
3?
Mm.
Devesh?
I count only 2.
Okay, don't.
Only
okay,
two.
okay, tell me, what are you not counting?
A lot of hookups.
I think that makes sense. Okay. So 3
3.
and 2. Okay. And which has been your hardest breakup so far?
Hardest breakup so far. It hasn't happened yet.
It hasn't
I
happened.
think this would be my hardest breakup if we ever
Yeah,
broke
no,
up.
that's what I'm saying. Like, the reason I don't count the earlier relationships as relationship is because I myself didn't know myself back then. And now, after at the age of 22, is when I actually know who I am. To be able to know who I am with another person is a whole different thing.
Different thing.
And hopefully, we don't end this.
Yeah.
But if we do, then like me entering into another relationship, I can call that a relationship. I know what label it has to carry and what feelings it has to carry. But yeah, that's why I just count this.
So I think in our families, no, they do this when
What?
किसी को नजर ना लगे. So my mom always, whenever you look so pretty and all, she'll do. कि
Yeah.
बेटा
Yeah.
Aw.
संभल के जाना.
I know.
So I think for both of you also, I hope there is no heartbreak.
Yeah.
Okay, but so you've never been broken ever? Where you thought
I
there was a
have
point.
dumped people.
You've dumped people.
Yeah, like the thing is, okay, let's just put it this way. Even when I used to hook up, I never went for multiple people. It was not like, okay, this week I'm going to go out with 3 different people.
Absolutely.
Next week I'm going to go out 3 more different people. I'm swiping on dating apps. I was never that kind of person. If I met someone, I would be with them for a long period of time. So I can literally count even if I say my hookups on my finger, and
Got it.
we can put this as a situationships. Okay? Like I was more in situationships than hookup. And I would be with them for a long period
Long
of
period of
time.
time.
Having made it, oh my God, I was in situationships. Having made it clear that, yeah, like we are not dating, but it's okay to be friends. Shit. Okay. So yeah, that was my case. So I was never, whenever I started anything, I was very clear of, okay, this is what I want, this is how it's going, and I was never fooling around or
Right.
in this sense. So I never technically dumped anybody other than my ex-boyfriend, which was very sad, honestly. Like I felt more guilty than anything else. Because why am I talking about this so much?
No, but
Let's not talk about my ex-boyfriend.
No,
too
but I
much.
think whatever is here right now,
Yeah.
I think that counts more than whatever has happened in the
For
past.
sure.
So I think this is beautiful,
For sure.
and this is going to go.
Hopefully, we're hoping so.
So along with that, one thing that both of you are so famous for is your Homo sweet home. So how did that idea come for you, and how did you decide? Because at moving into a new house, and moving into a new house is still okay. Building your own house is the most difficult thing, and I know through all your vlogs. So how was that, and how did you come up with that idea first of all?
So we
Was that
were-
your idea, Divesh?
yeah, it was
Yeah.
my no. So what happened was we were house hunting for almost 9 to 10 months.
Okay.
And in general, house hunting in Bombay is super duper tough. Right from the space constraints to the kind of houses that we were looking for, and to just describe what we were looking for, we were looking for something that was sufficient for the both of us, because we're moving in together, and I'm coming from the sense of a privileged background of the fact that I'm living with my family here in Bombay, and they were providing for me. So I didn't want to trouble myself with the fact that, oh, we're like constantly in the battle for space or comfort with each other. Plus, he's coming from living alone for
Right.
all these years since he's in Bombay, and he's independent, and him having to know that now I'm in his space. So I didn't want that to be causing a problem. So I knew that comfort and yeah, just comfort was the main thing. And so we were looking for something that was, of course, that also helped us a space where we made content regularly.
Right.
So we were looking for a white on white. We were just looking for plain white floors, plain white walls. That's all we needed.
So you're basically more
But-
focused towards the colors of the house.
Yeah, we were like, we need to
Yeah,
make
we
content in it, so it has to at least have like a white wall somewhere. But Surprisingly not. Not many houses
Nowhere.
have white walls.
What are you saying?
Yeah,
Nowhere.
we have seen houses with like yellow, pink, blue in the same room, and we were like, "Oh God,
What
this
are
is
you
not
saying?
gonna
Oh
work."
my God.
We have seen houses with like shitty flooring, but like white walls. So it was something or the other, and after 10 months, we were just like, "Listen, let's just stop looking for it. If something has to happen, will happen, and if you are supposed to move together, it will just happen. Let it be." And then we just went on with our life. We went on trips and
Yeah.
stuff like that. We stopped looking.
So you're looking for house for
9
10
to 10
months
months.
in
Yeah.
Bombay?
Yeah. Let's say we must be looking every month at least 7 to 8 houses.
What are you saying? Like in 10 months you couldn't find a house in Bombay?
How's it no that we liked?
We were
or-
constantly looking in a specific area because my workplace was
Just all
really
the-
nearby. And for him, I mean, I just feel like we were more comfortable in that one area where
Area,
we were
okay.
living.
Yeah, and it didn't
And-
make sense for both of us to move away from work. Like
Yeah.
at least
Increasing travel costs at this point is a no-brainer.
plus the
You should
rents
move.
of Bombay are like.
Yeah.
Oh my God, let's not go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after all that thing happened is when we got to this house, and we were lucky enough to get the opportunity to like renovate it ourselves.
Okay, you asked the owner beforehand if you could do that?
So there's
No,
a
so
fun story.
so that's the fun story is that my dad basically this is not our bought house. So it's
Right.
my dad who purchased the house, and he was planning to basically it's I lived in flat number 1, and now the house that he bought was flat number 2. And
Okay.
he was planning to join it and make his house bigger or whatever. But then while we were looking and struggling, he saw this, and he was also like not so serious on the conjoining. It's just an investment for him. So he was like, maybe I'll give it on rent. So we were looking for it on rent. Like, we'll pay you rent. And even he said, samne se ki, why don't you pay me rent?
Yeah.
It'll help me
Wow.
also. So this just worked out in our favor somehow.
Yeah, but like when we
And-
saw the house, it was a. There were two 80-year-old Christian ladies staying there for 62 years or something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and it
Longer.
longer. It was so bad. It didn't even have like a
It was
pink
not
wall.
bad. It was just old, and the thing was, it was a very old building. So living there was not possible because a lot of things were not functioning like in a
Got
normal
it.
house. So regardless, they were supposed to renovate it and break it down and make it
Like a better
combine
one. Yeah.
with the earlier house. So anyway, they were supposed to renovate it. So we said, why don't we kind of take
Do
it
it.
up as like a EMI kind of a thing over a duration of time?
Yeah.
We'll pay it off, and we'll make it in a way that we like it. And while we started doing this, we realized that our audience was also intrigued as to how we're building
building
this
it.
and stuff like that. And honestly, through that journey, we found an interest in building the space that we would like, And I feel like our artist creative sides came in
Came,
flow
yeah.
there. And we till date, like every night, we're instead of like scrolling Instagram, we're scrolling like Pinterest. And, like,
Pinterest.
oh my god, that's so cool.
For the next house. Like we're already
Yeah.
envisioning the next house and how we're gonna like what
Yeah.
all you want and
So,
Yeah.
okay, so then that started. So you basically rented out the house from your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and you started building it by yourself again. There's
Yeah.
no exterior, no one from the outside who was helping you with the whole.
We had a contractor. Do you
Yeah,
call
there
them
was
a
an
contractor?
architect.
Architect, yeah.
But the
there
idea was
no
yours end of the
designer.
day.
There was no
fully.
designer. Yeah, we
The-
were the designer.
You were.
We are the
Oh
designer.
my god. Okay. One question
Yeah.
that everyone wants to know: how much did you spend?
Oh, we are yet
End to end.
spending.
End to end.
No, so the house is not fully done. Now, it was somewhere over.
You give us a number, we'll say higher or
Yeah.
lower.
Yeah.
We don't want to say.
Okay. Wait. I've seen all the vlogs.
But this is like counting like civil work,
Yeah.
right from scratch. And this is not like interiors and stuff like that.
No, I'm talking about end to end. Like
Or like everything included.
everything.
you
Like
want some.
from
Even
the
we don't
time
know,
you
but
got
we'll
the
say
keys.
like approx, whatever we
Approx,
know.
yeah.
Okay.
Say a number.
Say a
I think. What? 7?
7,000.
No. 7 lakhs?
Higher.
What? 10 lakhs?
A little higher.
12 lakhs?
You're in Bombay.
Little
Oh,
higher.
okay. 15 lakhs?
Higher. Higher.
Oh, 18 lakhs?
Higher.
20 lakhs?
Yeah, almost somewhere.
Somewhere around that.
Oh my God.
Because I'll tell you why. Because when we moved into that house, the kitchen was the biggest part. The hall was tiny, so we had to switch everything. So all the
You had to break it down.
electrical work and the all that stuff had to happen for the kitchen to be to the other side and this to be the other side. And then we had to literally build the flooring from scratch, the walls from scratch.
Yeah.
Um,
Basically, things were breaking down. Like, if
Yeah.
you lived there for 2 more years, I'm sure some walls fell.
yeah, something would fall on your head. So we were just like, we cannot take that risk. We have to like get done everything from the get go. So it took a lot of money.
It took 9 months too.
To,
Time and money. both.
Time, money, effort, energy, sweat, everything.
but it is shown there, like the house is, I think, the most pretty house I've seen. Like,
Thank
it's
you.
so beautiful. It is so cute, beautiful. You
It
can
is
just.
a cozy space, honestly.
It's
like,
not a house, to be honest. It's not a house. It's a fucking cafe.
yeah, someone else said that. Who was it? Your mom, his mom. The first time we showed the house of the family, his mom came in and then she saw the yellow table we had, the checkered one. She's like, this feels like a cafe. This honestly, I'm like,
Okay, in the video, right?
Yeah,
That video
yeah,
you posted.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah.
I remember. Yes,
This
yes,
feels
yes.
like a cafe. I'm like, okay, whatever you wanna call it.
So that is so good. Like, and how much time did you take you to plan the whole house?
9 months.
We were doing it in the process.
Okay, you were
actually.
doing it in the process.
In the process.
Because we're not professional, so we didn't know how to sketch things. We didn't know how
Yeah.
to plan things. We were just going at the pace of whatever the architect needed us to.
Yeah, so
kind of-
basically the architect would tell us like, okay, we're starting with the living room. The walls are basically done. So what are your requirements? What do you want? Then we would sit like, okay, how about like if we keep the guest bathroom here and then this space would be left. So we can make like a small breakfast nook or like a sitting area there. And then I remember he said we wanted curves. And curves are the hardest thing to do apparently. We didn't know. We were like, we want curves everywhere and architecture is not possible. And then we were like, no, we want a curve here. If we're spending this much money, we want one here, one there, and this and that. So he figured out how to do all that.
I
Then
think
we
what
want,
helped was each room that we wanted, we gave it a different theme.
yeah, they can vibe.
And yeah, we were just like, we want to bring in a flavor of the fact that when we travel in general, because we both like doing that, every country, every city is different.
Okay.
And we wanted to do
okay.
that. We wanted to bring out a different flavor in each room, right from the kitchen to the living room to the common bathroom to the bedroom and the master bathroom.
That's all we have.
Yeah, in that's all we have.
That's all we have. So basically the plan was to keep the living room very colorful, but like again colorful not in the sense of like wall colorful.
Yeah.
We wanted everything white.
Everything,
We said like we can put the colors in
furniture.
Different
the
forms.
furniture.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you see our house, we
I
don't
know, I
have the
know.
similar furniture. You will see like 4 different chairs, but somehow everything comes together.
Comes together.
Yeah, and the kitchen the idea was like a diner kind of vibe. So you see the checkered
Yes,
floors
yes,
there.
yes.
And then we were like, okay, what if we get bored of all this color? So we need like a calmer space. So we kept the bathroom, the bedroom, not the bathroom. The bathroom is calmer though. But like the bedroom, very like beige, calm, Bali vibes. And we wanted like texture. I remember in the very
Yeah.
beginning, we were like, what about texture? Like, let's do some texture. Didn't know at that time how much that's gonna cost. But we're like, no, let's do texture. So the floor is like a different texture. If you touch the wall, it's a different texture. Costed us a lot, but like we were like,
Because
let's do it.
your washroom, I love your washroom. First of all. Like the small detailing of how you just keep your things there. I think all the small detailings are so beautiful. So before you started with the project, like when the idea hit your head, were you sure that this is how much you are going to spend, or you just got to know every time there was something new coming up?
No, honestly, I knew that at the back of my mind, this is till where we go, and that's what we told our architect. That if at any point you feel like we're saying something and it's gonna go above the total cost that we have planned, budgeted in, then you tell us. So
Got-
that's what we did. If he said that this is not worth it, don't spend so much on it, then we would just compromise on that, and we'll give him some different idea,
Got it.
and that's how it.
I think I want to meet your architect first. Like, So
He's not that great.
Yeah, he's not that great.
We had a super tough time with him.
what? Yeah.
We honestly had a
Super
very
tough
tough
time.
time. We are still like till date. He's yet coming over and fixing things that are not done. So it was a journey, honestly, because a lot of I would also give him credit on trying out new things for us because usually people don't ask for the things that we asked for, honestly. Like for example, in the bathroom we wanted the entire thing to be pebbles and not the pebbles which is like cement. We wanted like a little gap with like which feels like acupuncture if
Yeah,
you go
yeah,
on
yeah.
it. So it's for some it's like a different vibe. So we did ask him to do a lot of things. He did it to his best, but like still like a lot of things could have been done better, honestly. But we've learned a lot though. Like
Yeah.
and also more than learning, I feel like we've generated an interest in this
In
which we never thought we would like doing.
True.
So
And
who knows?
the best part is people love that. Whatever you've posted,
I
like
mean,
people
like-
are just mad about knowing what is happening next. When you're unwrapping your first furniture, like, okay, what is there in the box? Okay, what are you getting next? So I think people just love the whole vibe of you moving in, you setting it up, and how does your house look like, basically. So I think people, and I'm one of them. Because I want a house something like that. Okay, it is so cute. It's not a house again. I won't call it a house. I want a cafe like that.
You want a cafe like that? Sure, go for it. I mean, it's
I
just
just
like
feel like it's relatable because it's every element that we've put in is personal to us. Like
Yeah.
it's gone through both of us. Every time I have an idea, I go up to him, ask him what are his thoughts on it. He'll add something to it, and it's personal. Like right from the sofa to the
Absolutely,
washroom
yeah.
pebbles to a mirror in the washroom. It's all just something that we wanted, and it's come across in that budget that we wanted.
That's
so.
very true. Like a lot of furniture that you see in our house, we had probably seen 2 years ago or like 1 year ago in a store.
I
And
know,
been
I remember
like-
that story as
And
well,
been like, oh, one day when we have a house, we'll get this. Like we'll put it here, we'll put it there.
Yeah.
At that point, we did not know we were manifesting all of those
All of this,
things.
yeah.
But like a lot of things that we have in our house are things that we've said before that we wanted. And it's so cool to see it
Yeah.
now in our house.
Wow,
So
wow,
that's
wow.
amazing.
So with that, do you guys believe in manifestation? You mentioned manifesting. Do you manifest things?
No.
Not actively, but yeah, at some level. I think at some level everybody does, not realizing it. I think we do it more unintentionally than intentionally.
But do you think it works? Like, even if you do it intentionally, do you think it works?
I don't know because we haven't tried it. But for a lot of people who claim to actively, use these signs of manifestation to manifest greater things for them, it does work out. And I think that's good for them. And if during our journey in the future, if we ever want to, of course, we would love to learn because there are a lot of courses now, in fact.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's not like we've intentionally done it, but of course we've been like, oh, okay, let's take the example of the furniture. Okay, someday I want this in my house, and it has happened. So
yeah.
there is power in it. So
I think now you're manifesting your next house.
yeah, actually.
No, I'm manifesting getting comfortable in this one.
Like asking the architect to finish all the work first.
Yeah, please get
Yeah.
this done first, man.
Yeah, but it's also about like apart from the fact of getting things and making the house, I feel like it's about how a house becomes a home.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And how did you come up with the name Homo Sweet Home?
Homo sweet homo. Actually, we were very much like, oh, we should get something in the house that says home sweet home. And then I think,
It was basically a picture that we saw on the internet
Oh,
of,
yeah.
of a mat.
Okay.
yeah,
And it
had
said
some-
Homo Sweet Home.
something like that, yeah.
Oh.
And we
like,
were gonna
"That's
do something like
perfect."
home sweet home, and then we were like, no, we should do homo sweet homo. And we wanted that exact same rug in the house, but we're not getting it. So we were just like, okay, we'll call the house.
Call the
Homo
house,
sweet
yeah.
homo.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy, like you built it together, you are living in it together now, and people are loving it, first of all.
Yeah.
So, and you've put in a lot of work, a lot of money, and it just looks like a cafe.
Still
again.
paying it off, but yeah. Yeah. Like
Yeah, think
I
we
feel
just-
like
I feel like every person who comments, we just get a realization that we don't want to take this for granted.
honestly, yeah, for sure. And also like even when our friends now they come over and all of that. By the way, they were very much against all our ideas, to be very honest. They're like, what? A colorful sofa, what, a pink sofa, a green one along with it, what? A yellow table. They were like, this is gonna look like shit. You guys are like not thinking this through. Please take some time. But now when they see it and they see our vision, they're
Oh
like,
my God.
so yeah, this makes sense. This looks good. This looks cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've had a lot of people telling us, don't do this, don't do that, and stuff like that. But I'm glad that we listened to our
Own gut.
thoughts and had like stuck to our vision and like what we were seeing in
It's
our
the
head.
same thing like our identity. Society
mean-
kept telling us, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah,
But we
you're
stuck
not
through.
gay. It's just a phase.
I think you have something like people who say don't do that, you want to do that now.
I mean,
It's an unhealthy habit.
It's an unhealthy habit, but yeah, I had to. Again, I'm not going to go into my backstory, but I had to.
Okay.
So.
So with that, I have a few questions for you.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
So you can call this a rapid fire round.
Awesome. I love
Okay.
that.
Do we get a hamper?
Do we get something?
You get a lot of love.
Oh.
One reason why your ex is your ex.
Oh my God.
I wanted that answer.
Sorry. My brain. You said X and then my brain shut off. Maybe that's why.
Oh!
I can only think of one answer, and that's how Sara Ali Khan said. And she's like, because he's everybody's ex.
That is actually true.
I remember that current episode. Nice answer, guys. Okay, describe your ideal date in 3 words.
Ideal date. Cozy. Food. And sex afterwards. That's 4 words. Basically at home.
You mean to say homosweethomo?
Yes, at home. Cozy, food, and then sex afterwards.
Adventurous, not at home.
God. I knew he was going to go on that line.
Lots of activities.
Oh, wow. Great.
You can tell that we are very different.
Your go-to comfort food.
My go-to comfort food would be French fries.
Cheese sandwich.
Pizza with pineapple or pizza without pineapple?
I
Without.
don't discriminate.
What do you mean?
I would love to try it. What's wrong in it?
No.
Okay. Favorite movie?
That's hard. I watch a lot of movies. Can I say 2, 3?
1.
Oh, you're putting me on. I'm a Libra. Okay, recently I watched this movie called Quiz Lady. I liked it a lot. Have you watched it?
No.
It's called Quiz Lady.
Okay.
It's on, I think, Hotstar.
He watches the most weirdest of
I like watching movies that people don't watch because it's just like, oh, everybody's watching the same thing. So I like finding things that people are not watching.
Oh, wow.
And
That's his
watch
gay
them.
instinct.
Is this your favorite movie?
I don't have any favorite movie, but if I had to choose one, it would be anything with superpowers. Like there's this one movie called Sky High,
Okay.
where they're in like a university and they all have powers. Like one can turn into a plant, one can have a lot of strength.
Basically
one
like
can,
X-Men, but for kids.
yeah.
Your favorite song?
Currently, it is Texas Hold'em.
Baby by Justin Bieber.
Oh, nice.
His Forever,
I
yeah.
love that song. You know that one thing about that song that it has the most disliked song ever on
Really?
YouTube is Baby.
Ah.
You know that?
No, I didn't know that.
So there's a dislike button on
Yeah,
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 yeah.
for-
So, yeah.
We know about that.
We'll come to that later. Okay. Now, your favorite dessert apart from each other?
The tres leche.
I'm not a dessert person.
Okay.
I'm a person.
He's a very cheese person. You give him cheese, he'll eat cheese for
Yeah.
dessert. He doesn't mind. Yeah.
Okay. Your favorite dialogue
Favorite dialogue?
from any movie, any series?
I don't watch them that like.
We just watched a movie together.
What is that? Which movie are you talking about?
I'm not gonna give away my answer.
Okay, you give yours first, then I'm
मैं अपनी
thinking.
favorite हूँ.
Oh, मैं अपनी favorite हूँ, idiot.
I
मैं
just said
आपकी.
that.
Yeah, no,
अपनी
she
होगी.
said. It's like she says, "मैं अपनी favorite हूँ
हाँ,
ना."
I
You
said
Yeah.
said
that
मैं
only.
आपकी favorite
नहीं नहीं
हूँ.
मैं अपनी favorite.
I think she says मैं अपनी favorite.
हाँ.
हाँ.
मैं तो अपनी favorite. I don't know. You put me on a spot. I don't know. I'm bad with rapid fire, bro.
You have a fire up.
I have fire, but I don't have the rapid. I don't know. You'll have to move on. I'll have to think so. I'm a very think about it kind of person.
Okay, if you have to give one advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Sorry, I just thought of my dialogue.
Say it.
Miranda Priestley in Devil's Wear Prada. That's all. I love that. That's all. Okay, sorry.
Okay, so one advice you would give to your younger self.
One advice that I would give to my younger self would be calm the fuck down.
Oh my god.
That I understand now because I was running for things that I wanted in life. I was like, oh, if I get this, life is gonna be better. If I get this much money, life is gonna be better. If I get this person, life's gonna... It's never gonna be enough. It's never gonna be enough. You're gonna want something else. You're gonna chase something different. So just calm down. Enjoy where you are at this point. Let life, like, you have a plan for yourself. Life has a plan for yourself too. So just trust yourself. Chill a little. Go with the flow, and just calm down. Calm down.
Oh me. I got a little lost in his answer. Trust your tribe, I would say. Just you have some people, open up to them, and you'll be on the right path.
Great. Perfect. We'll come with the winner now.
The winner is
That's
Divesh, because I skipped an answer. Just basically on logistically, you're the winner.
Okay, I think we'll give it to Divesh then.
Yay!
Okay, so with that, when you talk about dreams, so together, now what are you planning together forward? Like, how is it? Have you thought about something that you want to do together? Like, because you are into fitness right now, and so how are you going to come together for the future?
Our ultimate goal would be to honestly do Honey, I'm Home together.
It's something that we speak about every day. It's like
It's
we
like,
want to make a living out of it.
yeah,
Basically.
this a soul living out of it, and so where we are not. Basically, we wanted to work for ourselves and for each other. That was the plan. Like, whenever we talked about working, we would like, I enjoy working with you. We work well together. So
You do?
sometimes, most of the times, not all the time, but like, yeah, most of the times I like working with you. So we wanted to do this together for as long as we can, and yeah, I feel like, again, like, not taking things too fast. We're just taking our time
Makes
to
sense.
figure out how to make this happen, and honestly, what our next plans would be. At this point, we're just happy to be where we
Where
are. I
you are.
feel, yeah.
But with Ani, I'm Home, don't you think like you can right now take content creation full time and the jobs that you're doing? What do you think about that?
Not as yet. I feel
Not
like
as yet.
the industry isn't used to yet ready to take us as people who are going to be getting these brand deals and deals in general very regularly. It's just
Yeah.
And how has it
comes
been?
at this.
Like, but do you get brand deals regularly? You
It's very sporadic, honestly. It depends
Yeah.
on the time of the year. If, say, there's Valentine's Day, that's the time when we would get some things. But like, I don't think the vision for us being able to do something for a brand, because we always come up with ideas which would be very unique and different. We like to do things that way. Even for any brand that comes to us, we are not just like, okay, this is the brief, we're just going to do it. We always like challenging and pushing the boundaries and see if we can do things differently. And we enjoy doing that. Like,
Yeah.
that's something I feel like that challenges us creatively,
Yeah.
and it's also something different for the brand. But I don't think people understand that as
Understand
of
that.
yet. But like, so we're waiting, and honestly, like, giving us ourselves the
Little more
time and
time.
other people the time to just like see if this works out in a way that we want it to be. Till then, we have a lot of money to a lot of debt to fill, so we
Yeah.
cannot do
Yeah,
this full time as
after
of
Homo
yet.
Sweet Homo.
Not as of yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. I think that was it.
Ah.
And we are almost towards the end of the whole conversation.
Yeah.
So before we leave, okay, Atulan and Divesh, what is, because there are a lot of people who are still yet to come out. They are very scared, okay, and the idea with my page and whatever I want to create, and again, same goes to you guys. We want it to be an inclusive, where people are open about things, they feel safe about sharing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyone who's watching this, what is that one message you would want to give to people who want to come out, but they're a little scared?
I would say find that one person, two people, and hold on to them, have the conversations, and just be okay with making mistakes down this journey, because it's not easy. It's not something that we've ever been taught to do in the right way, and just have a lot of patience.
Nice.
I think going by my story, I
I
never
know.
came out to my parents because I never thought it was the right time, and I did not think that I was ready. I think that's very important to know that you are ready. You are ready to face whatever consequences come along with it, because not everybody is gonna accept it. Not everybody is educated about it. So take your time, figure out if you are ready to come out. And when you do, know that not everybody is going to like you, but you're going to find people that are going to love you, and they're going to stick by you, and they're going to carry you and cheer you on. So it's just a matter of time. So take your time and have fun with it. It's one life. You've got one life, and if you're not enjoying it, if you're not being yourself, then what the hell?
I think I believe in that so much. I keep telling this to everyone, all of my friends, and I follow it myself.
Yeah.
That we get only one life,
That's so true.
and I just want to do what I would really want to do. So today, even if I'm doing content creation full time, it's not because I'm earning so much and all of it. It's because I love it. I really want to do this, and I've seen every time, like, I open some news channels, like I switch channels, I see this a kid who is a 19-year-old kid just died because of something, 22-year-old kid just died
Yeah.
because of something. And we don't know how long we are going to live.
Yeah, that's so true.
So we just have one life, and just let's do whatever makes us happy end of the day.
exactly, like I feel like, uh, I mean, I'm a fitness trainer now,
Yes.
but I was studying to become a doctor. Then I did psychology. Then I went to dancing, and now I'm a fitness trainer. So I do believe in the fact that at whatever point, whatever makes you happy, it's very important to do that at some scale. Not if not fully, at some scale.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Perfect. So with that, thank you so much again for
Thank you.
making time and coming here.
Of course.
And this is our podcast, Unset Feelings with Shanky. So thanks for watching, and if you loved it, I'm sure you're going to love more podcasts on this channel. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends, because you're going to see a lot of content here.